Guys.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Hey, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. We got through it. Our daughter turned 18 on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, how crazy is that?
Yep.
You know, it was good.
No, so we had Daddy and Rachel went to high tea like they normally do every year, and it was nice. And then hi Deanne. I gotta wave to her. Anyway, and then we had a surprise party for her at the house when she came home. I think she was surprised. We're not sure.
She didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
I was just driving and everything, and I was just doing my usual conversation. I was trying not to do anything weird I wouldn't normally do, because you know how you think about that kind of stuff. You're surprised that somebody's like, okay, what would I normally do in this situation? Don't say anything stupid or start a conversation that I wouldn't normally start and make her start to suspect, like, Dad, what's wrong with you? So
yeah, so that was fun. She had like a bunch of girlfriends, and that was great. So anyway, we celebrated Jay's birthday yesterday.
Oh yeah, whole 58 years old.
58. He's
oh
no
my
fart.
gosh, I know, right? And it was funny when Rachel was born. I'm going to go, I'm 58 when she gets 18, and now Braxton, I'm going to be 60 when he turns 18. So
I know
it's just crazy. But it was funny the day before. I think I told you guys last week that I do this high tea with her, and I've been doing it every year for the last 14, 15 years now. And it's pretty amazing, because there's that hour and a half where we just sit there, and sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't, but we talk. There's some talking that goes that Mom doesn't know about. But it's okay, because she actually opens up to me a little bit, so it's really nice. But the main thing was the day before, as I was trying to think about, this is her 18th birthday, and
we have an adult.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And did I prepare her? Did we prepare her for life? Did we say the right things? Did we, and we're Christian, we've raised them Christian, and not that we've lived the perfect life as Christians. We've always just tried to always have God in our lives. And, we raised them in a church where they learn the Bible and they know the Bible. And, Rachel does Bible studies. And, but you worry, because when you get out in the world and you're on your own, there's some things that you just have to figure out for yourself. And, Mom and Dad can give you advice and talk to you, but until you actually experience it and live it, you just don't know. And I was just worried about, does she have enough wisdom in what in her next steps in her life? Does she understand, how to stop for a moment and think and breathe, before she jumps into a decision that, maybe won't be a wise decision? And I don't know, it's just a little scary,
Some of you on here have grown kids, so there just comes a point where you just have to trust and have faith that they're going to be okay. Like just Braxton's starting to drive, and this is very scary. And it's really scary.
Not as scared as he is, which is pretty funny, because he is just afraid to even drive.
He is afraid.
We're kind of happy about that, because that means he's going to be cautious. So we're hoping
he probably won't drive for a little while longer. But anyway, so you just kind of have to just give it to the Lord and say, okay, they're going to be all right, and trust that,
And there's a lot of things that we've done over the years that we were told to do as Christians, and watching other, marriage, not counselors, but ministry people and family ministry people, just telling us to do different things with our kids, like praying for them. Pray for who their future spouse will be.
Right.
Pray that their future spouse will be the one that God chose for them. Mm-hmm. And every night have that prayer where you have them meet the right one.
Right.
Have them, and not only that, when they do meet the right one, have the spiritual discernment to know that it's the right one. And all of a sudden they're connected with a good, godly man or woman that really makes their lives go a little smoother, because Kimberly and I weren't raised that way, and I was Christian long before Kimberly. But
our dog's choking, sorry.
But I walked away from God, and then Kimberly and I lived a life of partying and stuff, and didn't have God in our lives for a very long time. And the kids were part of that, because when we first became Christian, and Kimberly became Christian, I came back to the Lord. Kimberly
and
was
that was
learning
right about when Rachel was born.
Right when Rachel was born, Kimberly was learning for the first time all these things about God that she thought were just stories, like David and Goliath and Samson and Delilah. Those were movies, or those were, stories that she heard about. Or some of the phrases that we use today are actually biblical phrases, and didn't even know they were biblical phrases. And our kids got to grow up with watching her learn, and me try to be a spiritual leader without really having God in my life for a long enough period of time again to really know what that looked like.
I think one of the good things that we always did with our children was we read a Bible study every single night, and we prayed together as a family every single night, like when they were little.
Yeah.
So they remember this, and hopefully they'll take these traditions and these things that we did every day, and they bring it into their own lives and their own family. And we always, like, right now we don't have a lot of control over our children. They're teenagers.
All we can do is guide them now.
Yeah,
they're almost adults, right? And are adults
doing their own thing. And we always just tell them, are you reading your Bible? And I send Bible verses every day to my kids, but now you just kind of have to say, okay, are you praying? Don't forget to pray.
Right.
Things like that. So,
right.
You can only hope that they do the same things.
And Braxton's great because, when we go to restaurants, we actually do pray before our meal. And, and
he always remembers.
And he always remembers, like, well, we'll start eating. He goes, wait about prayer, and it's great. Although all the other things he does doesn't seem to fit that. He's really into that, but we kind of go, okay, we'll do that. At least if that's good for him, we're going to do that. So it's pretty funny. But,
our poor son.
No, he's fine.
Oh, Lord, help our son.
But we do pray for our kids every night, and we pray for who their future spouse is, and if they're dating somebody, Lord, is this the right one? And if so, great. If not, let them know. Let them know so that they can move on. But they're both so young, it doesn't really matter really at this point. But we still want God involved, and we hope that they'll bring God into their lives as they leave our household and know the importance of who He is. And we hope that we've lived that life, that even with all our troubles and the mistakes that we've made and the damage that we've done to their psyche with our own arguments and stuff in the house where we're having dog fights and stuff.
Well, the one thing good though is, like, they saw the real us. Like, they saw who we are. But the good thing is that they also saw that we made up.
Right.
That we would make up and work it out.
And see us work through it.
It wasn't that we were silent and we didn't talk about things.
No, we're the loud family.
We definitely are the loud family, and we got things out right when we needed to get them out. It didn't matter who was around.
Whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who's around. I mean, we're pretty good now about when we're out in public, but with the kids, it was just like when they were there. They saw it all. But they also saw us make up, and they also saw us praying and getting over it and talking to them, saying, this stuff happens. You are going to have disagreements in your marriage. And you need to know how to work through them.
Yeah, because how you handle them in the end is what it's up to. And they saw us transition from, being ridiculous to being calmer and calmer and calmer. Our arguments could last an hour or longer, just ridiculous stuff. And now they last a few minutes at best. And usually what happens if it's a heated one that goes too much anger, Kimberly just leaves.
Right.
And that's ideal because that's how she deals with it. It gets rid of her stress, and that's good for her to get away for a few minutes. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, she knows when she's reached the point that she just has to leave. And there was a time back in the day with both of our insecurities. It's like, I didn't want her to leave. I wasn't going to let her leave because that's not how you work this out.
We're going to fight it out.
We're going to fight it out right. And it's definitely not the best way to handle it because the kids were around.
Right.
But the kids understood, and they've watched us change, and we're hoping that is what they remember. They remember the stuff that we did, but at the same time, they remember how much God changed us over the last several years. And all we can do is hope for that, because that gives them hope that if they get into a relationship that has heated moments, that they can see, oh, yeah, I remember that. Mom and Dad did this. And
some of it has kind of, like, the bad stuff has kind of rubbed off on them, too. So we pray that, and we tell them, you're going to have to work through these things.
We have helped them develop habits with that, and we've seen it with their friends and their relationships where they're acting like us, and we're like, I just stop. Well, Rachel's the only one who's really had relationships so far. Braxton's, just now getting into girls and stuff, but not there yet. But Rachel's had a couple good relationships and, more intimate relationships, and we've watched her, get fairly heated like, Kimberly does. And
or like you do.
Well, no, it's right, but I mean, but that upset,
just the whole wrong thing.
The way it's dealt with, oh my gosh, it's awful.
Like we talked about last time, we have this thing where, like, we have to be right and we have to prove the other person wrong, and now we see it in our kids, and they do the same thing, and they do it with us too, and it's like, oh my gosh, look what we did.
Yeah, so a good thing is we can end some of these arguments by one of our favorite people, Siri. Siri, what's this?
Yeah, we Google
what's
it.
That? And we'll Google it. It puts an end to it. Although that seems to be the wrong way to really deal with it, because we shouldn't be having discussions like that. But we do. And it's all good.
Type A.
Yeah, and they've watched us go through it, and they've watched us learn from it. Mm-hmm. And no, we're still a work in progress. There's no doubt, but God has really
love
done
on
some
your
good
kids,
stuff.
because they do grow fast. Like, I can't believe it. And like, I just thought about it years ago when she was born, going, wow, I'm going to be 50 when she's 18, and here I am. And it seems like such a blink of an eye, and it goes by so fast. And some of you that have kids that are grown, you know it. Some of you are starting your families.
Some of you are way beyond us too.
Right,
Absolutely.
and have grandkids.
Right, awesome.
And some of you are starting a family, and you're pulling your hair out in some of the stages that you're in. And all I can say to you is just enjoy it, because
it's hard
it goes so fast. And
you won't remember any of those times when they're kicking and screaming, laying in the store on the floor.
Well, I remember a couple really bad ones, but
but you
but it's true.
You don't think
that
about
stuff
those
does
things.
go,
You don't think about those.
You
think
always
about
remember the good times,
the smiles and their beauty. And you look at them now and you go, wow, what a beautiful child, and what a beautiful heart they have. And those are the things that you just go, wow, we did something right. But we know the only thing we could have done right was to bring God into their lives, and we're glad God is in their lives and we can see it. So that's really all that we can do as parents, is get them into an understanding of wisdom and where they can get wisdom from. So when their lives do get into turmoil, and they will, because we do, they do. It's just the nature of being human, that God just steps in if you let him, and he just really guides you through some of this stuff. And it's just really amazing. And we look so forward to the future with watching them go through these things, and watching God step in and just smile, going, yep.
Yeah, because like when
that.
Jay turned, so I was pregnant and Rachel was born 2 days before his 40th birthday. So she was born on the 1st, he's the 3rd, and then 2 years later we had Braxton on the 15th of September. So we're not quite done with the birthday parties this month. Like I said, May is all about me, Mother's Day, my birthday or anniversary, and then September is like the whole family, the rest of the family. So our May and our September kind of just go woof, done.
Right.
So we're a little crazy right now. But anyway.
And for you guys who are watching this, and she said that May's all about her, and she mentions the anniversary. Guys, regardless of what you think, guess what? The anniversary is never going to be about us.
Well, it is about us.
It's about the girls. So,
but it's a fun month. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, share our story, like our page. Invite other people. Just
we just want to get as many people as we can that can see what we've been through, and that they get the opportunity to see that whatever they're going through, their life can get through it too. Because there are a lot of people messed up in their marriages, and I know people. If you want to just have them watch it, it might give them a little bit of heart to say, wow, they could go through that. What can we get through?
Right.
And it might be different, but it's the same. It's all the same turmoil, because Paul said very strongly, if you marry, you will have trouble. And I don't want to leave you with that thought. What I want to leave you with is that...
if you're in this world, you'll have trouble.
Right. But Paul said about marriage, because men and women have different ways of thinking. And the trouble's just going to come because of that alone. Not because you're going to have problems, and you will, but sometimes the problem's just going to be because we just talk different.
Right.
We speak a different language.
Understand differently.
And the trouble comes because of it.
Yeah, but
right.
God will help you through.
Thanks,
but anyway,
guys.
have a blessed week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye now.